Hi, my loves. Welcome back. Hope everybody's doing well, feeling good. And today, I am excited because I'm going to be answering one of the most asked question on my channel, which is what is the difference between a service department and a non-service department, and which one do I recommend, especially for people coming from the diaspora, whether you're Nigerian or just from any other African country looking to move to Nigeria, or you have even lived here before. People always ask me, which one do you recommend? Now, remember, I am really going to be basing this from Lagos, which is where my experience typically is. Yeah. So I'm not going to talk about like Port Harcourt because I don't know how it works there. So if you live in any of these places, right, and you come across this video, instead of saying things like, this is not how we do it here, because everything I talk about is something that I have lived and I have experienced. So instead of saying that, how about we educate people like, okay, though this happens in Lagos, this is not how it happens in Enugu, because sometimes people also search the comment section to know the answer to this thing. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. As we know, Nigeria currently, as of 2025, we do not generate 24-hour light. So light is such a major issue in this country, aside from the fact that it has gotten expensive. If you're coming from the abroad, you're already used to expensive electricity bills, right? Now, the difference with that and here is that you're paying for what you get. So, but here, you're paying for that expensive electricity bill, but you're still not getting 24-hour light. So, especially since they increases, they had this thing they call Band A in Lagos, which has really made electricity bills really expensive. Yeah. So now, and if you're moving to Nigeria, looking to invest in Nigeria, especially if you live abroad, the thing is you want 24-hour light. At least you want a good amount of light, even if it's 20 hours, even if it's 18 hours, because what can we do without light? All our businesses are around light. Name one business that will not require you to have light now in 2025. So light is very important, and we do not have 24-hour light. Water is also a major issue in some areas in Lagos, and you'll be shocked to know that major high bro areas that light is actually a problem. Water. Either the water doesn't. Sometimes you see that some people dug what do you call it? Borehole close to a canal, which is why sometimes the water actually smells, depends on the area you're in. And then sometimes the water is dirty, but some areas have very clean water that you can actually drink from the tap. But if you're from the UK, you know that they drink their water from the tap. In America, I do not. Personally, I don't drink water from tap in America, but in the UK, I drink water from tap. In Nigeria, no, I boil my water. So now, because water can also be a big issue, now another thing is security, and security is in so many ways, which is one. A lot of people have not set boundaries. So, we have this communal living where we are used to people just saying, hi, I'm outside your gate. So people that do not like that also like that's why they like estates, right? Because when you live in these estates, you need code to come in. Nobody can just call that they are your gate. So to be honest, security is also like a major issue as well. And yeah, so I'm sure that if you're moving to Nigeria, you're going to be thinking about light, you're going to be thinking about water, you're going to be thinking about security, you're going to be thinking about flooding. If you're moving to places like Lagos, that when it rains, it can get really flooded in some areas. Like you cannot enter your house. Yeah. Some crazy times that it will rain. I'll be seeing videos online. Like what's happening here? People are pouring out water because water has literally gotten into their homes. And now there is also the traffic situation because of the bad road network, and also because of the impatience, because we're not patient people, right? Especially if nobody's there to say, oh, you stop. You know how I get to those junctions in the States where there's no traffic light, but you just know that who comes first goes, wait for the other person and stuff like that. And somehow it just works. In my country, it doesn't work. Yeah. Everybody is just on the move. So traffic is also a thing, and because this can also cause like noise pollution. So why am I saying this? So if you're looking to get a house in Lagos, these are the things that you'll be considering. Now, like I always ask people, what are you doing with the house? Is it Airbnb, stroke shortlet? Is it for rental? And is it to live? Obviously, if it's somewhere that you want to live, and are you single? Do you have kids? So, example, if you're single, the things you take into consideration are not the same thing that you take into consideration if you have kids. Example, like me, every time I want to rent a place or buy a place that I know that I will live in, I prefer estates because of the security. And just when you have kids, you want not just an estate but a family friendly estate. There's some estates that are not family friendly, like estates with block of flats, like 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom. They're usually not family friendly because that's just like beginners, right? But then estates with, duplexes, 4 bedroom, 5 bedroom, they usually have more rules because they do it for like some of them will even say that if you're not a family, you cannot, nobody will tell you want not to buy. But if you're not family, you can't rent because they're trying to keep, sets like a certain kind of image for the estate. So now that I've said that, let's go to the difference and what you hear a lot. So like I said, you answer that question for yourself. Are you looking to move here to stay or just for business? This will decide what you want to, like this decision will help you know where you're looking at and if you prefer a serviced apartment to a non-serviced apartment. Now let's talk about a non-serviced apartment, right? Houses, basically. We call it apartment house. Yeah. So non-serviced house, basically you buy, pay, move in. You are responsible for everything. You're responsible for your generator, because like I said, we don't have light. You're responsible for water. You're responsible for security. Basically, all you need to do is to pay and move in. It's not their business how you intend to secure yourself. It's not their business. This is the first stage, right? And these are usually like standalone houses, so that way you can have big fence, you can have big dogs if that's what you want and stuff like that. So when you're trying to get a house, you see agents ask you like, do you want a serviced or non-serviced, fully like self-serviced? Sorry, that's what it's called, self-serviced. So just like the name implies, self, you are responsible for everything. You're responsible for security. If you're renting, you just pay your rent and take your keys. There is no management responsible for anything. It's between you and yourself. And yes, you pay for light, you pay for water, you pay for taking out the dustbin. Yeah, basically those kind of things. Now we now have the it's serviced, but I don't know I'm looking for the name to call it. It is not a fully serviced place. So we have, I've gotten the word semi-serviced. Now, semi-serviced houses typically come with, do you see sometimes they'll say semi-serviced, meaning even though it's in an estate, even though you have a management, even though you're paying your service charge and all, you are allowed to bring your own generator. That's because that means like the houses are big. There is you don't have how do I put it now, with the semi-serviced. So semi-service is basically they'll tell you what they're offering. So they'll say, you're allowed to bring your own generator. People are allowed to own their own generators, but because there is a management, they will have some rules. Like when I was looking for a place, because this agent, you told them you want fully serviced, they'll still take you to semi-service. So they took me to a semi-service where generator was allowed, but you must bring, they gave the specification for the generator. So it's soundproof, it's blah, 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 blah. Well, they have some that, if you like, that we call it, I pass my neighbor. When you enter there, and you are 50 in the compound, 50 of you will have that noisy generator. So by this time now, people are home. You will just be hearing like gen sound. It's literally like if they bring lights, everybody will just be like, thank you, Jesus. You just hear people, boom, closing their windows, trying to turn on the AC because it's usually not the easiest. I'm telling you. And now they are in estates like that, they now have some odogu people that they don't turn off their gen. So even when there is light, they let it run because they don't have strength to be going back and forth. Especially like most of them, maybe they are doing business that they don't want any interruption. Then you now have some that the generator noise is not for the weak. Yes. So we have those kind of places where they will say, no, this is the only kind of generator you can bring in. And they have the ones that allow you, like even, like I said, if per 100 of you can bring in your own generator. Now, you are also responsible for your water. So everybody has like their individual tank where you buy water. So you get it, you call a tanker to come and fill up your own water. Nobody can touch your water. But if there's already like a borehole in that compound, they will tell you that, okay, there's a borehole or there's central water. So probably what you now have to do for your own self is to get a pumping machine, which will need light. So you'll be the one in charge of pumping your water to come up. So you might come up now, turn up your tap, and then you realize that there is no water. It is your job to pump up the water. Like, no estate manager will do that for you. So like I said, there are different places. So if you want a semi-serviced apartment, it's important to ask, what exactly are you people giving? Yes. So there are some apartments that they already have like a central pumping machine where they'll just say, okay, even though this is semi-service, this is how much you'll be paying. And they're in charge of like, pumping up the water for you. They're in charge of treating the water, but you can still come with your own generator. You get what I mean? So it's important to, first of all, when you're looking for a house, to ask like, what are your non-negotiables? What are the things that you will say, no, I must have this? Like, you must have a swimming pool, for example. You want it to have a swimming pool. You want it to have a family playing ground. You want it to have what do you call it, a gym. So what are your, I must have this? These are the things that will guide you to know the kind of estate you're looking for. Semi-service, like I said, semi-service, they have different kinds of semi-service. So you must ask. In fact, these days, agents use the word service to sell the houses. When you now come there, you now realize, yes, fully serviced apartment, then you come and you're like, why am I in charge of my water? Hey, yes, it's only gen they will give you. Oh, it's only water. Oh no, the reason we call it service is because there's only one central security and you pay. So imagine just hearing that it's service, and then you didn't ask questions, and then you come there and realize that, oh wow, I'm responsible for all this. So yes, I always tell people, like in semi-service, go to the estate management, not the agent, because these agents don't even know what it is. Go to estate management and ask for the service fee and what you are allowed to bring. Yes, some estates do not allow solar and inverter. They don't tell you, then you move in and you're trying to do your solar, you're trying to do your inverter, they will not allow. But I know that recently, since the diesel price like came up and all, a lot of estates have like relaxed with that as well. They have, a lot of them have started allowing solar, but please, it is important to ask. Some people tell you that dogs are not allowed, like pets are not allowed, whether it's indoor or outdoor, so it's important to ask that. Now, to my recommendation, where I'm staying and what I know that were like my non-negotiables. My non-negotiable, I wanted a fully serviced, which is really what upset me when I was looking for a house, because agents kept giving me either self-service. No. Now, one advantage of self-serviced, to be honest, is that you're not bound by rules, except obviously the rule governing the state. You're not bound by rules. Nobody's going to tell you that you shouldn't make noise by this time. Nobody's going to tell you, like, nobody's going to give you those rules. And if you're just buying that house, so like, okay, you know what? I want to be coming and going. I don't live in Nigeria. That can work for you. When you come, you do your thing. When you're going, you turn it off. I saw a Facebook creator that bought a house. It was not serviced. So when they were leaving, they had to come in, turn off everything, lock their gates, and they left. They will not need to pay anything. If they're out for 3 months, they will not need to pay for anything for that 3 months. If they're out for 3 years, they will not pay anything. But in a serviced apartment, whether you're around or not, you will pay your service charge. The only thing you do is not to buy light. So I wanted a fully serviced, because I work from home. I wanted somewhere that you are not allowed to bring your generator, even if it's this most silent generator. No, I did not want a place where you can bring in your generator. I wanted a central generator that services everyone. I wanted a place where solar was allowed. I wanted a place where inverter was allowed. I wanted a place that had a gym. I wanted a place that had a swimming pool. I wanted a place that had a playground for me. And then I wanted a place that doesn't flood. Nobody wants a place that floods, right? Yes, nobody wants a place that floods. But yes, well, those were the things that I put. I wanted a fully serviced. I wanted a place that had like I said, in my estate, we have an electrician, we have a plumber. So if I need like plumbing work done now, I don't have to go outside and start calling a plumber. I just use the in-house one. Yeah. So I wanted that definition of fully serviced. Like I said, it's expensive because every month you have to pay your service charge, whether you're around or not. Now, why this is also expensive is that the estate puts the tariff, because remember, they are giving you light, whether it's gen. Your own is like in my house, I have 24-hour light. They don't, like, it doesn't matter if it's gen, if it's EKDC. No, all you need to do is to load your meter. So if you're not around, you don't need to load your meter. That's the only thing you save on. But if you're around, you will load it. So because they are running between diesel and also they're in charge of paying the NEPA bills and all that come in, right? Theirs is typically higher. So let's say tariff outside is 180. Your estate tariff can go as high as 300. So please ask for the tariff. I know people that had to sell or that were like stranded because they did not ask for this tariff, and they got into the place and realized that what, this tariff is 400, is 500, is 350. What's happening here? So yes, ask for the tariff and then just okay, plus and minus. Even if they have to increase, it won't be that crazy. So yeah, ask for the tariff for your estate. And like I said, it's typically higher than being on your own, because again, personally, the way I calculated it was, if I'm on my own, I'll buy generator. If I'm on my own, I'll service the generator. I'll need to get a security person in charge of it. I will need to take care of my own water. I'll need to do water treatment to be sure that the water is clean. I'll need to do all that. So at the end of the day, yes, I would rather just pay someone to be sure that that person is handling it. So yes, a fully serviced apartment or a fully serviced estate comes with all this. Now, I've seen a lot of people reach out to me to say, oh, well, we want 24-hour light. I do not know estates that give 24-hour light. My estate gives 24-hour light, but that's because I asked them. You can only find out from the estate itself. Why? Because previously, all estates that do fully serviced were given 24-hour light until giving lights became very, very expensive. They started regulating it. So some of them will tell you 18-hour and they will give you the time schedule. So if it doesn't work for you, then that's fine. The way they calculate it is, okay, people are going to work by this time. They're getting their kids ready by this time. So let's have light. Let's turn it off around 11 and then turn it back on at 1. So they'll give you that schedule to help you prepare. And to be honest, it's not bad if you have an inverter. It's not bad, because the only thing is, like, it depends on you how much your inverter is. Some inverters carry TV, AC, depends on what you want to carry. So if you have a good inverter that takes everything, then okay. Like, to me, even if it's 18 hours, like, I didn't mind if mine was going to be 18 hours. I didn't mind, because it's not like I turn on my AC 24 hours. So I knew that with my solar inverter, I would not have to, deal with it. But good thing it's 24 hours. So it's okay. So yes, it's the estate that will tell you. Some estates were doing 24 hours, they reduced to 18. They reduced to 19. So please, even when they tell you that they have light, when the agents are telling you that estate has light, find out from them how many hours they are giving you people, so that you know how to supplement the rest or say no. Yes, there's some estates now that do diesel contribution as well, aside from the money they pay. So even if you don't buy lights, everybody is supposed to pay a certain amount of money for diesel contribution. This typically happens in very small estates, so everybody just comes together and contributes and pay into the estate's accounts. Find out from them. In my estate, we use an app, so everything happens in the app. If you want to buy lights, you go to the app. If you want to pay your service charge, you go there. So if you're owing for like the previous service charge, you just will not be allowed to go forward, So that human interaction is less and getting the work done, if you know what I mean. Yeah, so in a fully serviced apartment, you tend to get like everything. So it depends on what you are looking for. Again, like I said, which one do I recommend? Definitely, I will always recommend a fully serviced apartment for people that are not used to Nigeria. If you're a foreigner and you're not used to Nigeria, or even if you're Nigerian but you have been away for so long, I would definitely recommend a fully serviced apartment. It takes away the stress, because do you know that it's crazy. You're telling people to buy you diesel. People will be building house in their village with your money. You tell them to buy 20 liters, they'll buy 10 liters. You're not there to check it up. You need to hire security. And have you tried to hire in Nigeria before? It's not easy. You can be on your way to the airport and you just get a call from your security to tell you that, sorry, I forgot to tell you, I'll be going back to village tomorrow. They'll leave your key and go where they are. So just having a company that handles all that. So personally, I will recommend, if you're coming to live, I recommend fully serviced. If you're coming to rent, then business wise, of course, think about it, because if you're looking at it from a business point of view, if I rent out my place now, if I decide to move out from this place now and I put it up for rent, if I don't get any tenant for 3 years, I will still be paying them their service charge, because that's the agreement. So sometimes for rental, people will tell you that like stand-alone houses that are not in estates, that they are better for them. And then in estates as well, if you're using it for business, there are rules. So it depends. Like if you're using it for Airbnb, do you want to get family-oriented people, or do you want to get camp people, or do you want parties? Because if you're using it for business in estates have restrictions. A lot of estates do not allow parties except residents, as if you live here, you're allowed to. But if you're coming for just short-let Airbnb, so you have that in mind, like, okay, when I'm taking this place for short-let, what kind of people do I want? Do I want people that will be coming for weekend parties? Then that's not for you. You have to go to a non-service there. So estate comes with its rules, and you must abide with the rules of the estate, right? A guy told me that when he was moving in here, that the agent he got the place from did not tell him that pets were not allowed. And now he had already paid when he realized that pets were not allowed. So whatever you do inside your house is not their business. You can have that pet inside your house, but you can't have it outside, and you can't have it barking. So his dog was barking, and then they fined him. So he he was taking it to the dog to go out and keep it with his family members that lived somewhere else. So yeah, it's important to know these things so that you don't come in and then you're like, wow, I wasn't told this. So like I said, estate has rules because they're trying to guard you, they're trying to guard your family. So like in my estate, you can't come in without calling. If your help is going out, even if she's with a nylon bag that has like the pack of perfume, maybe you throw away a perfume pack, not perfume inside the pack, you have to give her clearance before she leaves, again because of security and all that. So yes, that's what happens in estate. So if you want to live in an estate, you have to ask for the rules, so that if the rules are something you cannot take, you leave. But if you're going to stay in an estate, you have to abide by their rules. So yes, typically that is the difference between a serviced, a semi-serviced, and a fully serviced estates. Yes, so like you already know, serviced. And then even for people buying, if you're not in Nigeria, also buying in estates are typically easier, because like I said, when I was buying, the person that sold it to me, because it was an estate, my lawyer had to, aside from the search they do to make sure that, okay, it's not on government property and all that, and there are no issues with the land or no issues with the no issues. It's also easier when it's an estate to be sure that you're dealing with the right person. So like I said, there's a lot to consider when you're looking at it, but you can tell why I definitely recommend it, because if you're not Nigerian or you haven't lived here for a while and you're coming back, you don't want to start dealing with like your own generator, your own security. All you need to do is pay and move in. Thank you. So if you like this video, please always share it, because there are people who want to see videos like this, because it's packed with so much information and it helps you avoid scams. So please share it. Don't forget to like, don't forget to drop a comment, and thank you so much, and bless you.